Rafael. Welcome to the GreenWay Startup Show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
This is our very first Skype interview, so I really hope it will work out well. We met about a year ago, right, in Puerto Rico, and that time you were fully employed, you had a full-time job, and you also had your MBA, if I'm right.
You?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just, this year I finished my MBA. Yep,
And just in about a year, you turned your career around, you left your job, and you started your company. Am I right?
correct. It was last March 2014. I decided to, quit my pharmaceutical job and try to, come up with ideas. And, I came up with different ideas, but the one that, you know, that I'm, that this company is based on is a renewable energy company specializing on installing and maintaining photovoltaic systems or solar systems. Systems that
Correct.
are based on converting the solar energy to electricity in a clean way.
Leaving the corporate world like a year ago, what was your intention and what was your motivation that you wanted to achieve?
Yeah. So basically, at my corporate job, as an engineer in Puerto Rico, for me, I felt that I wasn't applying all the concepts and practices that I wanted to have in my ideal job. I felt after I got my board exam, I passed the board exam, the engineering board exam, and I started the MBA, Masters of Business Administration. That really gave me the push to believe in my ideas that I had. And basically, I wanted more time for me to think about what I wanted to do with my life, with my future. So yeah, I decided to find. First of all, I found. I have to clarify. I found another job that gave me more time. In this job is the one that I'm the, having right now. The one that provides me the fixed income, which is I'm a professor at a community college, and I do that at night. So during the day, I have free time to run my company. So I found that job first, and then I quit my corporate job. That's what I advise to people. If people are thinking about uh, doing this route, the entrepreneur route, obviously I advise them to find a different job. I sacrifice income for time, basically. The job that I'm right now is just less income, but more time for me. And I also like this job. So for me, it's a win-win. I have no regrets about this route, about this whole year, because of the challenges that I had. I've learned so much, not only about the industry that I'm on, but about myself and about my capacities, my potential. And I have met so many people, that I think, having this corporate job and not having the time to explore different opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Looking at your website, I found the terminology electrofitting company.
Yeah,
So,
So,
actually, the name of the company is Electrical Retrofitting Solutions, or ERS. So yeah, the term electrofitting, or electrical retrofitting, I combine those two terms, and I trademarked that word. I trademarked the word electrofitting. So it's a type of retrofitting specializing on electrical improvements to your property. So there are different types of retrofitting. You can do structural retrofitting, which, if you have an old building, you can change, everything from painting, from the foundation of the building, etc. And you can also do like electrical retrofitting, like changing all the wiring of the building, converting an old building to a smart building. So that's my niche. The industry that I'm in is based on everything that you can do to a building, to a property, to improve in terms of electrical work, to improve its performance and energy efficiency. So we specialize on photovoltaic systems, security systems, any type of electrical work. Yeah. And we are based in Puerto Rico. So we understand that Puerto Rico has a great potential for, solar energy technology.
And you also mentioned that you not only serve Puerto Rico but as well the US continent. My understanding is from the process that you explained at the beginning of our interview that there is no one-to-one interaction needed with the client at the beginning of the whole process, right? Until you make a calculation, you define how much the saving is, the return on investment. So the customer decides to buy your consulting service with the solution and so on. So what happens afterwards? How can you serve the US market as well? Do you have to fly over there, and whether it's really manageable by you?
Right. So you just describe the first phase of the quotation of this system. The first phase is just online interaction via email, where I send this proposal to the client, and then if he or she agrees on that proposal, then I just make a date with them and I visit their premises. In the case of the US, yeah, I would do the same. Once the customer agrees with that price, I would visit them and continue with the second phase of the quotation, and then finally make the installation of the system. Yeah.
So your clients basically located in Puerto Rico, or do you also work in the US continent?
Right. We are starting in the Puerto Rican market, but since we are so we have neighbors in the Caribbean, we also can offer the service there. Also, continental US. Yeah.
So explain me the process, like your consulting service. That if a customer contact you, that what happens?
Correct. In terms of specific photovoltaic system installation, the customer can, at first, it's very easy. He or she can just send me via email their electric bill, and I can analyze it and send them a preliminary proposal for the project, where this proposal includes the price of the system, uh, also a return on investment, the ROI analysis, a payback period, because this is clearly an investment. You have a front up cost, and then you free up that client's electricity bill. So after the payback period, you free up that payment, and it's just a return of investment that is accumulating every month for the life of the system, which is the industry standard of the life of the solar panel or photovoltaic systems is 25 years.
25 years. And what is the return on investment? How long is it?
The return of investment is depends on how much the client is spending on the electricity bill each month. But basically, a good investment is one that has a payback period of 5 or less years.
And what happens afterwards? So, for example, if I decide to use solar panel, do I decrease the surplus? Like with the surplus, do I decrease my future energy bill? So can I save the energy, or I have to return back to the system?
Right. So I have all this information in my blog. Let me talk more about the importance of this blog, because I have a website, electrofitting, www.electrofitting.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the main purpose of this website, the value, the major value that I see on this website is a page that I created called Educational Blog. With this blog contains a lot of useful information for people that have questions about solar technology. How does it work? You know, every question from the basics to the laws that govern in Puerto Rico to the economic model, which is net metering, which is the one that you were just talking about. Every during the day you're producing electricity from the sun, so you consume some electricity and then you export the remaining to the grid, to the electrical grid.
Oh, I see.
And then during the night or whenever there's no sun available in your property, you use energy from the utility company. So at the end of the month, the net, that's why it's called net metering, because the net value, the difference between what you consume and you export, that's what you either, basically you have three scenarios. The net value is zero, so you consume exactly what you export. The net value is positive, so you get some remaining consumption, so you have to pay a little bit more that month instead of the minimum, which is for residential properties, the minimum is $3 in Puerto Rico. And the third scenario is that you export more than you consume.
Okay. So the system might be different by states in the U.S., right?
Yes, the net metering model, that is in Puerto Rico, that's available in different states in the U.S. So basically, it works the same, but again, the minimum value varies, but the three scenarios remain the same. What changes is, the different laws that govern each state. For example, the minimum value, for example, in Puerto Rico, that's $3, the minimum that you can pay each month. Maybe in other states it's less or more.
So you just mentioned your educational blog on your website, and I think it's a great idea.
And you kind of educate them. So I think it's a very great idea. So tell me, let me ask you quickly, um, how you actually created your website. Did you have somebody who created it for you, or you did it on your own? And what was the investment you actually had to put together in order to start your own company?
Okay, so this company is almost 1 year old, since I started from scratch I would say last summer. That's where I decided the name. I started working on the logo. For example, in the logo process, I use different websites. You want me to explain a little bit more about the websites and the stuff that I use?
Just in general, yeah, or you can mention it well. I can add it later on, yeah.
Okay. So I use logotournament.com for the logo. And that was a preliminary logo, and then I just fixed it a little bit more. And then once I got the logo, the next step was to create a website. The thing is that, I run this company, I have many hats. All the hats available, I have them, president, website designer, a marketing director, sales director, etc. So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of website, the website development, since I have an electrical engineering background, I have some experience building websites on college. So I just use WordPress. uh, I have a WordPress website. I think that's a very reliable system. um, it's a very economic system too. And I passed through the learning process, which is, the learning curve wasn't that great for me, but the learning curve the longest learning curve was to write copy, copywriting, what information to include on the website, all the proofreading or all the editing, all the thinking that has to be, every blog post that I have on the website, I want it to be, have all the references, have all the correct information, and that's it takes a lot of time for me. But for me, that's gives a lot of value to my potential customers, so that's very important for me. That all the content in the website is correct, is updated, and at the end serves as a good information for the customer.
Have you outsourced any of the activities?
Excuse me?
Have you outsourced any of the activities?
Correct. Yes, I outsourced some diagrams that I had to make for the posts. I outsource also proofreading, some basically art, proofreading. Those are the two main activities that I outsource. I use the
Uh,
Elance. The two websites that I use are Elance and this new website Fiverr. At least in Puerto Rico, it's kind of new. uh, Fiverr.com.
Okay. And you also have a video on your website. So is it also like has been outsourced?
Yeah, that's that video is a mixture between those two websites. I outsource the voiceover, the art, the animation.
Oh wow. So altogether your website, what would you say that how much money you needed to create a website like that?
For my website, you have the hosting, which is like $100 a year, and you have the art, which is depends on your budget, but the art can be, let's say, $200 between the logo and all the different videos and diagrams. But the most expensive thing for me was time to write uh, you know the blog posts,
the con-
the all the content, the entire content. Yep.
Mhm.
But nowadays, building a website, is it's not that much of money, but you have to have a great idea and great content.
Yeah.
It's much about content instead of cost.
And do you use any like social media advertisement?
Yeah, correct. I use right now the only source of advertisement that I'm using is social media, especially Facebook advertisement, different Facebook campaigns. I did a campaign for Christmas, campaign for Thanksgiving. I'm planning a campaign for summer this summer. So yeah,
It's very interesting. Are you talking about paid campaigns? Paid
correct.
Paid
Facebook
Paid
Facebook
campaigns?
paid
campaigns.
yeah paid advertisements. Yes.
Pros and cons.
For me, the pros that I see is that in Facebook you can analyze your audience. Every time that a person likes your page in Facebook, you're available to see the location, not only Puerto Rico but which town in Puerto Rico. So I now know about those. I have about 3,000 likes in my page, in my Facebook page. So I know what percentage is in which town in Puerto Rico. I even have likes in the U.S., in the continental U.S. So I know which ones are from Orlando, Florida, Miami, etc. Those are pros. The thing that and cost too. Facebook is cost of Facebook is fair. It's minimal, and the tools at the back end of the um, marketing tools, like you can analyze audience, location, even some interests like college graduates, which ones are college graduates, which one, different backgrounds. So that's a great pro. The cons, the reach. For example, if you compare Facebook marketing to Google AdWords, the reach is very different. With Google, the reach is larger. So I would say that's one of the cons.
And what would be your recommendation that how much is like a starting company should spend on advertisement?
In my experience, a startup company should uh, start with social media marketing, and you can do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram marketing without paying. Again, it's either money or time. So if you don't want to spend money, you have to spend time. In social media, you can, if you don't have budget, if you have a low budget, you can just have time, spend time creating persuasive posts. Be creative, and just try to engage people to like your page or follow you on Instagram or Twitter. But again, you have to be creative, and being creative for me, I feel that I'm blessed with my engineering side of thinking. I also have a creative side too, in terms of making diagrams and art, and writing copy. But if you are having problems creating original content, you can outsource it. You can talk to people. Yeah, but basically at the end, it's just money or time. You decide which one you want to spend or invest.
So, Raphael, you differentiated your company from other providers, from other like solar renewable energy companies through your educational blog. Why do you think it's important to make people aware that renewable energy is there and it's really important?
Correct. Yeah, now that I understand the market in Puerto Rico, the photovoltaic system installation and maintenance market, I know for a fact that a lot of people in Puerto Rico need to educate themselves more in terms of, other than just seeing advertisements about, install a solar panel system because it will save you money or etc. They need to know how. They need to know more about the technology. They need to know that, it's safe, it's proven, it's and now's the time. They need to know what is being done around the world. They need to know that basically Puerto Rico we're behind in that technology. For example, in Germany, I just read a couple of months ago that almost 50% of the energy produced in Germany it comes from renewable energy sources. In Puerto Rico, based on a 2012 study, we're not even close to 1%. And in the Caribbean, being a Caribbean island, in the Caribbean, the cost of electricity is are higher because because of the transportation logistics of the oil, etc. So, and sources like wind in the coast, we have the north, the east coast, the winds conditions are perfect for that. So I see in the future, I see how Puerto Rico can become a, a source of distributed generation. But in the future, when everyone, let's say for example, most of the population have in their properties have a renewable energy system installed, either photovoltaic or wind, etc. So each one of them, of those clients, become a mini generation system because they not only consume but they export too. So they
I
improve
see.
the capacity of the grid. Each resident that has a renewable system contributes to the growing the capacity of the grid and improving it. So that's called a distributed generation scheme. That not only the main electricity company provides energy, but also the end user becomes a generation hub.
It's a very interesting concept for the future,
For the
And
future, correct?
also,
also for the present. Like somewhere sometimes we have to like restart or somewhere. Rafael, thank you very much for your time today. And I enjoyed talking to you, and we have received some great advice from you. And I wish you good luck for your business for the future. And then anybody who's like seeing this interview, then they can reach out to you on the email address that we provide during this interview, right?
Of course, and they can visit my
and on your
website too.
website.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.